Namaste. In this video, we will be looking at groups in Tableau and how can they be useful. Now first, we will look at this example. Now I have 12 different people and they have given me a small survey about where they live and where do they work basically and how much do they earn on a monthly basis. Okay, so they didn't prefer to give me their names and I'm perfectly okay with it. So I have these 12 anonymous names and now my job is to find out that how much each city pays its employees on average. Okay, so now instead of importing or connecting to this Excel sheet, since this is just a quick and dirty data, I just copy this here and I will paste it here itself by pressing Ctrl V. Okay, so this is the data source that I just copied and pasted, and if I double click here, this will take me to the data source page. Now my job is to find out per city basis, right? So I'll just remove everything here and I'll just place on the rows and on the columns I'll put salary. But this is a little bit incorrect. Why do you think so? Well, because it has Bombay, it has Mum and it has Mumbai. Now since I gave these people the liberty to choose the place of the stay, about where they live, one person preferred to write as Mumbai, some as Mum, and one guy as Bombay. And similarly for Delhi also, Delhi DL and DEL, for Calcutta, Kolkata, for Chennai and Madras as well, this problem is there. Now how can groups solve this issue? Well, I can just select multiple rows at a time, for example Bombay, Mum and Mumbai, all of these three, and I can, when I hover on any of these three, it will give me an option to form a group. Okay, or I can also right click here and select group, and you see all of these three have been grouped into just one quantity. So now this is just showing me all the sum of the salaries in Mumbai. Similarly for Calcutta and Kolkata I can do the same, so I can group them together. I can group them together as well. Okay, so now I can also I can just either come here and click on edit alias and change the name here, or I can just come to this place group, which is a new dimension created by Tableau, and it has also has a group icon. So I can just come here, click on edit group, and here I can change the name of the group. For example, I can say this as Mumbai. Okay, so now I have these four groups of Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai and Delhi, and I have two other cities, Ahmedabad and Chandigarh. So I have this option of include other, but we will look at it in just a moment. Now when I click OK, I now have per city basis how much each city pays. Since this is the sum of the salaries, I'll just come here and click on average, and this will give me on an average basis which city is the best one. Okay, now as I talked before, we can also say include other. When I click this, just see what happens to Ahmedabad and Chandigarh. When I click this, Ahmedabad and Chandigarh have been grouped into one single group of other. Okay, so Tableau has created this other group, and everything else that is not in any group will be combined in other. Okay, so after I click OK, I do not see Chandigarh or Ahmedabad, I see only one other group. And now I can compare, for example, these four metro cities of India with the other cities of India. Okay, so this is also how we can use groups to compare different sets of groups. For example, if I want to compare the east and south regions versus the north and west regions, so I can compare these two groups together as well. Okay, now if I come to the data source page, I see that a different dimension has been placed here in the data source page as well. So Mumbai MUM have been grouped into Mumbai. So this is basically a new column, right? So this is one way of using groups to clean the data. Now another way is here. So now this is just football positions. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with it, then this is a goalkeeper. Okay, so this is one position. Now a fullback, centre back, sweeper, wing back, all of these four are known as defenders. The defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder and central midfielder, they are known as, of course, midfielders, because they play in the center of the park for most of the time. And forwards, wingers and strikers, all of these three are my forwards. Now let us look at another example. Here I have this particular column of best position. So if I check the alias, it has the different best positions of each and every player in the FIFA 21 dataset. Okay, so let us group them together on the basis of whether they are defenders, midfielders, attackers, or goalkeepers. Now, one other way to create a group is by just clicking here on the column that we want to create a group of, then click on create and then click on group here. Okay, so now what I can do is I can select CAM, press Control, then CDM. This is central attacking midfielder, central defensive midfielder, this is central midfielder, this is left midfielder, right midfielder, and okay, that is about it. So I can just group them together by clicking here, and all of them will be grouped in this way. And midfielder, okay, and I can just collapse this. Now center back, left wing back, right wing back, all of these are my defenders, defender, and my center forward, left wing, right wing, all of these are my attackers, or I can call them forward. Now I have purposefully left this striker out. Now let us create a group for this goalkeeper, and there will be only one member in this group. Okay, now for example, if I forget about this striker, now how do I put this into the forward group? Well, I just rename this to a forward. It is simple. I just select this. I can either just drag this into the forward and it will be included in the forward group, or otherwise if I do not want that to happen, I can just ungroup this and I can click on ST striker, add to, and add to the forward. Okay, and click on apply. Okay, now this best position group has been created. Now I can compare on a position wise at how many players are there in this entire data set by looking at the count of players data, and I see that the midfielders are the most represented, and I can also compare, for example, which players get paid the most amount. So I can put wage in euros. From here the best position group. Okay, and from here what we see is that midfielders are getting paid the most amount. If you look at on an average, the forwards are getting paid the most. So this is what the data is telling us. So just another way of visualizing the groups is, if I just drag this group here, best position group, and then the best position, I see that all the defenders have been clubbed together, all the forwards have been clubbed together, goalkeeper and the midfielders are getting clubbed together. Okay, so this is how we can create groups in Tableau.